What's up, guys? Ben here, bringing you another video today. Yes, I am bald. As you guys may know, I had a bet around phase in Major 2. I lost. That meant that my head had to be shaved. Also, you see that my setup is kind of a little bit weird. It's just for this video. I'm in Atlanta. I was in Atlanta all weekend doing a bunch of shows from here. We're in at the Atlanta Esports Ventures, the Atlanta phase facility right now. So shout out to them for the setup. And as always, guys, it's Monday. You know we're doing our tier list, the Major 3 Week 2 qualifiers over the last couple of days. Let's dive in and see if there have been any changes after 3 days of matches. All right, so this is the order we had from the last video. And I think in general, kind of going into this week, the sense was, okay, you had like 4 top 4 teams. You've got the 3 teams that are probably in good spot to qualify for champs. And then you got about like 5 other teams in the league, and Seattle's probably the 8th best team, but we wanted to see how they played this week. So let's go in reverse order here. We did top order last time. Let's start at the bottom with London and Florida. And honestly, I don't really think that either of these teams are going to move from their spots. London, kind of a mixed bag week, but they did go ahead and get a crazy round 11 victory versus LAG, but great. But I don't know if they look that great doing it. They have made this swap now with Paul running a sub and Nasty running an AR. We first saw it in their series on Friday against FaZe, in which they lost. So in general, I think the sort of role swap is probably good for them. If Asim can step it up a little bit, maybe they can get a little bit more about them. But right now, I don't really think anything really separates them and Florida right now. And Florida is another team. They actually went 1-1 this week. They beat Boston surprisingly and then lost after that. Again, I don't really know what to make of that Boston win. Their S&D looks worse with this new team. Although Capsule, I think, was a big add. Man, I don't know what to think about Florida. I can't move them to work to do because I still think that they're kind of a step below some other teams, but LAG is also not playing that good. So let's discuss that and see what we want to do here. So LAG are now on a mega slide. I think they've lost 7 of their last 8 series. And I think with a lot of other external stuff that's going around their organization this week with the layoffs at the guard, I don't really know what to make of this team and kind of where they're at. I don't even know if they're better than Florida or London at this time. So I don't know how or what I want to do here in terms of like ordering some of these squads. I almost want to move LAG, and maybe we'll do that, put them right here for now. This might be a really funky layout for this week, but I think next week we'll kind of solve maybe how these 3 teams kind of all rank, because London actually might have a chance to this upcoming weekend in some of the series, and they may actually shuffle around here. LAG is definitely probably on the verge of making a roster change right now, and that's why I got to move them down a spot, because they're on a mega slide, and it seems like they might have to swap out with their ARs, but I don't even know if they can do it with the lack of personnel in their team due to the layoffs. So, all right, next up we have Vegas, and they played FaZe this weekend. It didn't play too bad, honestly. They won the first map and they just got outclassed on the next couple of maps, which is to be expected. I like the Vegas change so far. They have a real chance to make top 8 winners bracket. Not top 8, but make winners bracket for Major 3 based on their schedule they have coming up in their matches next weekend against Rocker and LAG. So for now, I think they stay in the spot. They'll have a lot more sample size to see before we're willing to move them up, but I like the progress for Vegas. All right, and next up we have the Seattle Surge. They went 1-1 this week. They lost to Thieves, but they beat Florida. They look really good on Hotel S&D. Don't look yet great on other hotel maps. Respawn's still good. I really want to move this team to potential contenders, but I want to see them get better another S&D map before I want to move them up to that spot, because I still think their S&D map pool is really weak. So for now, we're leaving them here, but they're like, just know they're like right on the edge. They're like right on the edge of me moving them up. All right, we're moving into the next territory. We got the Toronto Ultra, and they went 3-0 this week. A really good showing for this Ultra team that's now 3 on the bounce since they made the roster change with Hixie. They beat Optic in New York this weekend. Clean sweep, 6-0 map count. So I am going to slide them this way. I don't know if I want to put them in front of or behind Boston. Boston did lose this weekend. We'll get to that. So maybe for the sake of it, we'll just put Toronto here. These teams always shuffle. This like 5 to 8 range is always a shuffle every week. I wouldn't take anything too serious in terms of how I like order the teams in this category, but Toronto's now starting to move towards the, like, maybe we're a top 4 team category, but this could be a honeymoon. Who knows? A team that really struggled this week was the Minnesota Rocker. They are continuing their mega slide. I think they're on a significant losing streak. Now they have lost 5 in a row. Absolutely got dumpstered on by Optic this weekend. And I don't know what to say, man. I find it weird that a veteran team like this, after a good placing at a major, just has an absolute clunker online. Again, like, it's just the weirdest squad to me in the CDL. Even more so weird than like Seattle. I just, you don't know what you get from Rocker on really a daily or weekly or weekend basis. And I almost want to move them down a tier, but I also don't want to overreact. They may start in losers for this event. Here's a question of, do I think they're like better or worse than Seattle? I'm going to leave Rocker there for right now. I almost like, it's just so hard because I kind of want to put Seattle above them in the power rankings. We're going to do it. You know what? We're going to do it. I'm going to put Seattle there. I'm going to put Rocker kind of in this spot. I don't want to move them down to work to do just yet, but they have another bad weekend. I think they're going to come back down with Vegas this spot. So for now, this is kind of how I'm going to rank it. And then Boston in this spot right here. I know they did lose to Florida this weekend. I don't know what to make of that just yet. They've been played mostly pretty good this stage and are 3-1. So I don't want to overreact based on one loss to Florida. And they played double fortress in that series. So I don't know, man. I think they're still a good team. Obviously, I still have questions about them, but they're still good enough to be a top 8, top 6 team. So we'll leave them there as is for now. But I could see Seattle with a better weekend, maybe jumping them a spot. We'll see. And then we got the top 4 teams up top. And I don't know if the order of these teams really changes at all. New York lost this weekend. Again, they were another 1-match weekend. And I don't really want to overreact to that one either because they're 2-1. And they lost this hot Toronto team. But overall, New York looked improved last week. Again, we still need to see that against Optic and Seattle, who are both seem to be in decent form right now. So we'll see what New York we get next weekend. But I think putting them in number 4 seems like a good spot. Optic in 3rd also seems like a good spot right now. They went 1-1 this week, had a clunker against Toronto and a good one against the Rocker. I think this is still a team work in progress, but going into a home major with the talent that they have, I think Dan's adding a lot in the communication front from what we've seen with the listen-ins. I'm still a little bit worried about certain elements of their map pool, but in really decision-making sometimes. I think 3rd is a good spot for them right now. And then I think the first 2 spots really aren't going to change either as well here. I think we started to settle into some consistency, at least for a couple weeks in this top 4 right now. Thieves with a pretty solid showing this weekend, getting it done against Seattle. So I liked that from them. They're probably good value to make winners. They're 2-1. I think likely have that locked with Rocker and Boston. I expect them to win at least one of those and be like 3-2 probably in series count, which would get them in winners. So another team that's maybe 3-2 because they're always 3-2. It seems like during these online qualifiers by the end is Atlanta FaZe, and they went 2-0 this week. Pretty solid showing for them. They're now 3-1. Their only losses against LA Thieves. They beat London and Vegas this weekend. I wouldn't say they played their best COD this weekend, but it was good enough to beat both those teams. We had Slasher on the flank at one point. He felt like maybe during that London series they played down a little bit. Then against Vegas they lost map 1, but the last 3 maps were pretty clean. So a lot to learn for FaZe going into this next weekend of matches. They're only going to have one against Optic, and that will be an interesting one because Optic, depending on what happens with their tough schedule, might need to get a certain result to make it into winners, to get certain seeding. So it might be a funky series, but FaZe, still your defending champions, will put them in the 1 spot. I feel pretty good about the power rankings this week. It's just these 3 teams are just in a weird one, and me moving LAG down makes this look really funky. I kind of say this like, there's 8 teams and there's everybody else. I think there could be some movement here because I don't know what to think of Rocker. I don't know what to think of Vegas. I think both of them have big weekends coming up, so we'll see what we get from them. Other than that, I really think that the ranking we're starting to settle into some consistency here now that we made it more towards the middle of the season. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you kind of agree with my tier list? You think I'm off? Just let me know and I'll respond to a few. Obviously, like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more. I know we were a little light on content last week just with me being in Atlanta. I think we're going to step it up this weekend though. I'm going to put up a video tomorrow previewing Challengers Elite, talking about sort of things to look out for in the amateur side of things going into Major 3 and like who to watch out for. We'll probably do a Q&A video and get our predictions out this week. So stay on the top for that as we get to the final week of the Major 3 qualifiers. And as always, guys, we will see you on the next one.